Hola gente, ¿cómo están? Esto es Soul Idealist. El día de hoy tenemos a un invitado especial con nosotros, a Vincent Chanzard. Hi Vincent, thank you for this interview.
Thank you for having me.
Para más contexto, Vincent es un animador de efectos especiales y animador TV show, cuyo trabajo ha estado plasmado en varios proyectos como Fate Grand Order, Absolute, Demonic Front, Babylonia, Jordan the Princess of Snow and Blood, y films recientes como One Piece Film Red. So, Vincent, can you tell us a little bit of how were your beginnings in the animation industry?
I started working on credit card advertising and stuff like that when I was in school. Yeah, that's how it was, you know.
Like pretty early on, you had your path really well established.
Not really, because of course, you know, my path changed every or so years. It's not like entirely defined even now. I wasn't even sure I wanted to do actual animation when I was in school. I was more of a storyboard person, I guess. I mean, I still do storyboard, but I guess I'm more focused on animation right now. And the school I went to is more focused on like movies, feature films, Western production, and like not at all for like Japanese animation, for example.
That's interesting point. But I was going to ask you about the inspiration that you had and the inspiration that you got, why you got focused on the Japanese industry as well. How you got there?
Chance, I guess. Like, of course, as many students, I had, you know, some Japanese productions that I really loved, of course. Sailor Moon being my favorite anime of all time. But it wasn't necessarily, you know, the one thing that I was going for, or my main reference in animation. So I think the fact that I ended up doing Japanese work is really purely through chance, you know, just having one opportunity to another and ending up really enjoying it, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course. We don't know where we're going in life, so I think it's chance or luck. It's a pretty good answer. It's okay. So, could you tell us a little bit of your experience working at Toei Animation and One Piece? That's really big. It's a really big deal.
Right. The first disclaimer, if I may, before saying anything, is that what I'm going to talk is like the situation of like a freelancer for Toei. So I'm not an in-house animator. I might be in the future, but right now I'm not. Don't take, you know, my case to be the same as every single animator who works at Toei. Ultimately, I really just talk about like my own case. So I first worked with Toei for One Piece. I think it was 157, which I think was a bit more than a year ago. And it was an episode with now famous director Megumi Ishitani. It was a specific sequence about the apparition of the warlords in the Reverie. So it was a lot of characters that I kind of knew being a One Piece fan. So it was extremely fun to animate people like Gecko Moria, for example. After this episode, I quote-unquote took a break from One Piece. Not really a quote, not really a break. It's more that I had other projects at the same time, and I was not able to work more for One Piece. But then after like, I think a year, I came back on episode 10-4, and they gave me like a small sequence. You know, like it was a new production assistant, and so they were like, "Oh, okay, can you try this small sequence?" And it worked well. So like they kept on asking me to keep on working with them, and eventually
they liked you.
Yeah, and
yes.
I liked them in return as well.
Yes.
It went both ways.
Okay.
And obviously, when you work on a show like One Piece, you see a lot of the time directors that you've already worked with. You see production assistants that you've also worked with. On show like, for example, Mob, you don't have a lot of time to learn, talk, discuss with people, for example, when you're freelancer.
Okay.
But on One Piece, because the team have like a role, I don't know to say that, they basically turn, like they finish an episode and they start a new episode. You see again people you've already worked with, so you can grow closer to them, talk with them several times.
Yeah, like without talking that much with them, or it was like a comfortable environment in that situation.
Yeah, very much.
Okay, that's wonderful. That privilege. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yes, the last chapter of One Piece that you worked on had a very positive reception among the One Piece fandom. How did you feel about having contributed to the One Piece anime in the Wano arc? Just your words, no pressure.
It was fun. I mean, I don't know how, necessarily people felt it was, but I for sure had a lot of fun doing it. One Piece being my favorite manga, and I like Wano in general. So being able to be a part of it was very important for me. And again, the amount of freedoms that the studio gave me with my sequence.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it has allowed me to feel very good and very happy with what I made, which is not always the case. So
yes, and just because you knew the context of what you were working on, and because you like it so much, I think it gives a special touch to the work itself. And knowing that you have the freedom to like play with aspects on that, I think it's really precious. I think you will remember this moment when you were working on.
Yeah, I think I'm very lucky and blessed to be able to I'm sure you understand how it feels to love and deeply care for a production, a show, a universe, and being able to be a part of it, to contribute for it, and to ultimately give it life a bit. So yeah, yes. I'm just so blessed.
If you had to share a message or anything, a phrase to all animation aspirants, future animators, artists on the field, what would you say to them in order to inspire them, or just to say something silly so they can continue?
Oh damn, the classic question.
I know.
I mean, it is not an easy question. There would be like so many things to say, but I think the most general one I can give is always trying to keep on having fun, as fun is the best source of motivation. And ultimately, I want to believe that's why most of us do this work, because at some moment in our life we have enjoyed ourselves, animation in general. So keeping that fun in mind is going to allow us to keep on pushing ourselves, pushing the limit of our medium, and ultimately make people in their turn enjoy the same way that we did the animation.
Those are great words. Okay, just for you to know.
I did my best.
I'm here doing my best as well.
Oh, wonderful. Let's have fun.
Yeah, no, thank you for those words. We know work is work, but we have to like try to search those moments, that passion for us to drive us through the process. But in a stressful field like animators or videographers, all this stuff, the magic comes to happen like so gracefully that, yeah, fun. I think fun is like a key aspect through all the process. So those are good words. Thank you for that. So we have reached the end of the interview. Hopefully we'll continue being amazed with your future projects, and we'll happen to see you more often. So thank you so much, Vincent, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Chicos, esto ha sido todo por la entrevista, así que nos vemos en la próxima.